Hey there, and welcome back. Today I'm handing out quests again, but this time it's going to be in the Bloodmyst Isles. And instead of giving out simple and basic quests, I'm giving out a quest chain that I prepared in hopes that players can get the chance to get more loot if they finish more quests, and so that things are more interesting for everyone involved. Now, this was a suggestion given to me by people in the comments, so thank you for that. And I don't want to spend too much time here, so let's get back to the guys you saw in the intro. I saw them and noticed that they were friends, so I flagged them down to see if they wanted to do some quests. I asked them to bring me 5 bear meats for a reward. It turned out they already had some. It wasn't enough to complete the quest, but I wanted to keep them interested, so they do another one. I gave them both some decent upgrades, but nothing crazy yet. I just wanted them to be curious about the next reward. This is where I tell them that I'm looking for Murloc eyes. They accepted that quest, and we fast forward past the part you already saw. Seemed like they went through a lot of trouble, so I gave the Paladin a 2-handed weapon with Fire Enchant, and I gave the Shaman 3 Agility Enchanted greens that would all be useful upgrades. I was hoping to give them more, but I ended up short on rewards. It was a bit disappointing that I fumbled this chain, and I wasn't able to give them better stuff. I really wanted both of them to have some cool new weapons, but I didn't organize myself enough, unfortunately. I definitely enjoyed interacting with this player. I told him I needed 5 mutated petals to help me heal. He accepted, despite having other business to attend to.
Hail to the night.
While he was out killing constrictors, another adventurer whom I sent out earlier came back with some bear meat. I gave him a decent pair of boots, hoping he would continue with the quest chain so he could receive even better items. As I was handing him a new quest, the Paladin from earlier showed up. It seemed he had the items I requested. He accepts the Murloc quest, which makes it his second in the chain. Now for his reward. I asked him if he was a tank or DPS just to make sure that he got the right item. I sensed that he was busy, so I knew I had to give him a good reward now, because it was unlikely that it would take up another quest. He ended up getting a 1-handed axe with a fiery enchant, so that he could use it with a shield. He certainly knew how to play along. The other Paladin, unfortunately, never made it back. Man, I wish I gave him something better. I spent a good bit of time here and handed out a lot of quests. I learned that it took players a considerable amount of time to complete multiple quests. Most people only finished 1 or 2 before opting out of the rest, since they probably also wanted to level up from regular quests. I had a tough time deciding on gear to hand out, since I needed the perfect mix of items to cater to all classes and all of their specs. As you saw with the duo at the start, I ran out of items because I had planned the rewards based on full chain completions, but when people were completing a quest or 2 here and there, My reward chains broke, and I had to improvise by giving players what I thought was fair, but also what I thought would keep them interested enough to come back. There was also the issue of level difference between players. So if a level 20 showed up, I had to give them the last item in the chain so that it would actually be useful to them, and then forego the rest of the quests. Because a lot of the items I had were meant for players between 14 and 16.
Hail to the night.
I eventually met this hunter, and immediately had a great feeling about it. I asked him to do the quest for the mutated petals. He decides to bandage me and give me some roots to help me stay alive until he brought them back. When he returned, I gave him some leg armor and a pair of attack power boots enchanted with agility. I then tried to convince him to take another quest. The Murloc quest. He tried to buy back the eyes from the vendor, since he sold them earlier, but he couldn't find them. Rather than send him back to the Murlocs again, I thought it was better to ask him for the bear meat instead. Well, this guy was prepared. He completed the next quest quickly, and then received a rare belt with some good attack power. The moment of truth. Will he be the first to accept the third quest? Oh. Wait, he's suggesting that the priest nearby should help me out. But will she? Now, I don't actually remember giving her the quest. She was definitely nearby when I was requesting it from others, so she somehow knew that I needed them. I only got 3, but that was good enough for me, because I just wanted to move on to the next quest and see if she was willing to go for more. For her reward, she received bracers with a 7 intellect enchant. Time to see if our adventurer is ready for the next quest. Awesome. That's a good sign. A straightforward follow-up quest. She needs to bring me 5 bear meat. Bear meats? I don't know. Seems like I'm in good hands.
Yeah.
Off she goes. Soon enough, she returns. I give her pants with plus healing on them and a simple intellect belt. Time to find out if she'll be the first player to complete 3 in a row. I'm impressed. This time I'm sending her to collect Murloc eyes. The catch is, when the job's done, she'll have to come and hand it in to me somewhere else. Wormscar Island, to the northeast. That's where I hope to present the final challenge. That didn't seem to deter this player. I was a bit worried that my instructions would get her lost, but there was only one way to find out. She's ready to go.
By the light of the moon. Naturally.
Onwards to the island. I was very excited at this point, but I needed to wait and see if she would come back. I've handed out a lot of quests in general, and the one thing I see a lot of is players heading off on a quest and then just never returning. Of course, I always assumed that something came up and they had to leave. There's never any hard feelings about that. All I had to do now was wait. I stood in a spot that I thought would be visible when she approached the island as she left the shores where the Murlocs reside. After about 15 minutes or so, I noticed a blue name in the water and realized she was heading this way. This is turning out great.
Hail to the night.
In return for the Murloc eyes, I gave her a rare wand and a simple intellect and stamina ring. Now by this point, this player has spent almost 30 minutes doing my quests, so I wasn't sure if they had the time to do the fourth and last quest in the chain. Surprise me once again with that enthusiasm. Hell yeah. For this quest, the player needed to kill whelps on this island and bring me 4 of their tiny fangs. The thing I was worried about was that the dragonkin here were level 16 to 18, and our priest was only level 14, so I knew it would be a real challenge to get through this.
By the
Every once in a while, she'd appear near me, and I'd see the struggles firsthand. At one point, I was looking out to see if I could spot her, and she just popped up from behind me. She had died in the process, and had to wait out resurrection sickness before getting back to it. Yeah, tell me about it. We've all been there. At long last, she came back, and this time with 4 tiny fangs. To complete all my quests, this player took almost an hour and a half. I felt like they deserved the best rewards I had on me. I was really impressed by how patient and dedicated this person was. Spider Silk Boots with a 7 stamina enchant. Twisted Chanter's Staff with a 9 intellect enchant. And 20 gold, because why not?
hail to the night.
We dragged out our goodbyes because it really felt like we bonded over this. Dragon Slayer indeed. It was time for me to go. I was inspired by this player's journey, and I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. As always, thank you for being here.